Okay, here we go. Graphing quadratic functions. Remember, a quadratic is when the highest exponent in the expression is a 2. Here we have x squared. So how are we going to graph this? Well, we need at least 3 points. And we're going to use our calculator to get these points and to give us an idea of the way that the graph is supposed to look. Now, I already know what this looks like, but just to show you, go to y equals, you type it in just like that, x squared. Now push graph. If you'll take a look, here's the U shape. These will all make U shapes. And what I need to do is I need to pick some x's on this side of the center and on that side of the center. Maybe one from over here, one from over there. And it looks like this thing is going to bottom out right here at 0. So I'm going to look around the number 0 for x. To get my points, now that I know what the graph looks like, I just push second graph and I'm going to look at the table. Right here at 0 is where I saw that it bottomed out. So I'm going to pick the number that comes before 0, the number that comes after 0. That will be 3 points, and that will be enough to draw this graph. So I just copy them right out of the calculator. -1, 0, 1. When x is -1, y is +1. When x is 0, y is 0. And when x is 1, y is 1. Perfect. So now I just go plot those points. You have a ready-made graph paper for you. I don't. I'm here at home. So I'm just going to guess, and I'm going to say that the point -1, 1 is right there. The point 1, 1 is right here. And this worked out great. You see how they are on the same line, and they're about the same distance away. They are the same distance away from the y-axis. And right here is 0, 0. I've drawn all 3 points. It's a U shape, and so it's going to go like this. And it's done. It's done. Now I've already included the x numbers that you should look for in your calculator on your work. You just go to the table, you find them, push graph, see what it's supposed to look like, then go to your graph paper and plot those points after you make your table and draw the U shape. All right, here we go on the second one for an exercise. X squared plus 3. We go back to y equals. Already got x squared. Now I do plus 3, graph. And it looks like, you know what? It looks like it's in the center again. So my center point, x is going to equal 0. Now I need a number that comes before that and a number that comes after. So second graph. All right, looky here what happens again. -1 gives me +4, and +1 also gives me +4. I think I'll use those. So -1, 4, 0, 3, and 1, 4. And now I can go ahead and plot those points and draw the graph to look like that. So let's see, we'll call this 3. So 1, 4 is going to be about right there. -1, 4 about right there. And we just draw the U shape. It's done. Okay, well, let's move on to something a little bit more complex. How about the quantity x plus 4 squared? Well, it's the same process. Go to y equals. We type in parenthesis x plus 4, close parenthesis, squared, graph. All right, well this time, see how it's not bottoming out right here in the center? It's bottoming out, see, -1, -2, -3, -4, at -4. So when I go to the table, I want to pick the number -4, and I want to pick a number to the left of it, a number to the right of it. I want to make sure that I pick numbers that are whole numbers. So here we go, -4. All right, let's see, here's -4 and 0. So that's going to be my point in the middle. And if you'll notice, let me set it down where you can see it and focus. All the numbers above 0 here in the y column, 1, 4, 9, are repeated right below 0, 1, 4, 9. That's what makes the U shape. So this time I'm going to pick -5 and -3 because both of those give me +1 for my y value. So my 3 points, okay, -5, 1, -4, 0, -3, 1. And my graph is going to look like this. Here's -4, 0. -3 would be about here, and 1. -5 would be about right here, and 1. And I can go ahead and draw the U shape. Let me check that. Yep. Pretty good representation, I think. Okay, so far, the number in front of x was +1. The number in front of x is +1. The number in front of x is +1. But now we get the number in front of x is -1. When you have negatives, what happens is, instead of the parabola opening upward like this, being a U shape, it opens downward, kind of like an N shape. Other than that, the process is going to be exactly the same. All right, so we go to y equals, and we type in our function, -x² + 2. We push graph, and there we go. We have a parabola that opens downward. Looks like it's centered on the y-axis, so my middle x value is going to be 0. So I'm going to go ahead and write it in there. And now I'm going to look for a number that comes before it that gives me a whole number, a number that comes after it that gives me a whole number, and then I can graph this. Okay, so second graph. I have to go down and find 0 in the x column. There it is. So I have 0, 2. So I'm going to put the 2 right there with the 0. And then I have, before that, I have -1, 1. And then after it, I have 1, 1. So there's my 3 points. -1, 1, and 1, 1. Now it's just a matter of plotting them. All right, 0, 2. 1, 2, right there. -1, 1. Go over to -1, up to 1. There's the second one. And 1, 1. There we go. And then just draw the shape. How do I do it perfect every single time? Man. Wow. Okay. Now here's one that's even a little bit more complex. It's no big deal. You're going to do the same thing. Now notice the number in front of the x is a positive number, so it will open upward. This one's going to make a U shape. Same process. Type it into y equals 3x² + 4x + 1. Push graph. And not too strange. I think we can do this. It looks like this is going to bottom out here somewhere around -1. Okay, this one might be a little different. Let's take a look at the table. No, actually it's not different. But still, I'm looking for numbers that repeat. Okay. And it's not going to give me exact numbers. So here's what I'm going to do. If you'll notice, here's the 0, and when you go up, the numbers get bigger. And then go back to 0, and when you go down, the numbers get bigger. That's telling me that this turns here somewhere around -1 on the x. So I'm going to use that point, -1, 0. So here's -1, 0. Okay. Now let's pick a point above that. How about -2, 5? I should have been writing these down. -2, 5, -1, 0. And then 1 right after that. So how about 1, 8? So here's 1, 8. All right. -2, 5. I'm going to say it's about right there. +1, 8. That's going to be up here. And now we'll just draw this parabola. You see how the points did not have to be even with each other. You can still draw the parabola. And this is going to happen sometimes. It just is. What your goal is when you go to the table is to pick out whole numbers in the x column that give you whole numbers in the y column. And I think the numbers that I picked for you on your sheet, they're going to give you whole numbers or at least halves to work with. All right, that's done. Type it into y equals, pick 3 points from the table, plot those 3 points, draw your shape. If it's a positive number in front of x squared, it's going to be a U shape. If it's a negative number in front of x squared, then it's going to look more like an N or an upside down U. At the last one, -2x squared minus 2. Again, we have a negative number in front of the x. That means it's going to make the N shape. All right, so go to y equals, type it in, -x squared minus, -2x squared minus 2. Graph. Well, looks like this one is centered on the y-axis again, so 0 is going to be one of my numbers. I know what it looks like now, so let's just go ahead and go to the table so we can make our table. Second graph. All right, here's 0, and that gives me -2, so that's going to be my middle one. Right above that is -1, -4. And right below that is +1, +4. Now I can go plot those points. -1, -4. Let's call this -1. Here's -4. And then 0, -2. And then 1, 4. And draw the U shape. There we go. Bada boom, bada bing. Well, would have been nice if you'd have seen me do it, but here it is. Okay, I hope this helps. If you have more questions, give me a call. 1-903-818-1565. Hope everything's going good. Bye.